Hey toy fans, D21 Beast Rob here, back with another figure review, and we are finally looking at the X-Men wave of Marvel Legends released by Hasbro in 2016. Given the current comic book climate, I can't tell you how blown away I am that Hasbro actually announced a full wave of X-Men Legends, 8 figures in this wave, and a Juggernaut Build-A-Figure. But I've got the entire set in hand and I can't wait to dig into them, but the first one I want to look at is the brand new Rogue figure. A figure that's at least 10 years in the making. The last time we had a proper Marvel Legends Rogue was in that X-Men Legends box set way back from the Toy Biz days. And I used to have the Rogue that was in that box set and it was atrocious. So much so that I didn't feel bad about selling it at convention, and then they never gave us another one. There was an attempt made back when the Wolverine was in theaters with the X-Men Legends Puck Build-A-Figure wave. It looked like we were going to be getting an X-Men Legacy version of Rogue and I was super stoked for that figure. But then they unceremoniously canceled it. And then Hasbro went and repurposed their head on this piece of garbage. But now, we finally have a brand new Rogue figure. I cannot wait to tear into this packaging, but let's start by taking a look at what this box has to offer. In the upper left-hand corner, we do have the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure emblem. We've got an X logo on the top. We've got the new Legend style logo there in the front. We've got a window box packaging that does house this figure inside, as well as her accessories and her Build-A-Figure piece. We've got the X-Men logo that was current around 2012. And then the figure's name there towards the bottom, Marvel's Rogue. Flipping this package around, we do have the Marvel Legends logo in the upper left and a bio for this figure in the upper right. It reads, "With just one touch, Rogue can absorb anyone's superpowers, making her capabilities in any matchup nearly limitless." Coming down from the bio, we do have a nice glamour shot of Rogue in the center of the box. We've got the Build-A-Figure Juggernaut emblem one more time, and then finally a complete lineup of all the figures in this wave, all of which I will be doing reviews for. Alright X-Fans, that's the packaging. What say we get this Southern Belle out of the box and see what she's all about. Alright toy fans, here we have Rogue out of the packaging, and this is a truly special figure. And if I had any complaints about this figure up front, it's that I don't have a flight stand specifically designed for this figure to best showcase this figure in my collection. Please Hasbro, consider this in the future. Now before we get too much into the detail of this figure, there's one special note I want to give you guys. I've seen some reviews on YouTube that people don't seem to know what's going on with the boots on this figure. She's got knee pads, I guess you could call them, or flares at the top of her boots, and then even a ring right underneath that. They're just kind of separate pieces that move and shift around on the figure. When you get this figure out of the box, those rings aren't set where they need to be, but those rings do actually conform to the contours of her legs. You're going to want to push those boot flares on each leg up until they're snug against the lower part of her thigh, and then those rings below the flares you'll want to push down on her shins just a little bit, just until they kind of set into place. Setting those details actually helps complete the costumed look for this character as she was drawn on the page. Now, that little tidbit out of the way, let's take a look at the detail of this figure. The paintwork and sculpt work on this head, and really the figure in general, are phenomenal. But as we take a look at the head, I really appreciate that we have actual blush applied on the cheeks, the lipstick's very clean. The eyes are just a tad bit wide, but honestly, I don't think it's too bad. It kind of reminds me of the Mockingbird figure. Hasbro has done much worse in the past with the eye application on females. We have some nice metallic green paint for the headband. There's almost a grayish color for the sort of white flare on her hair versus just the standard solid white color. And I kind of like that they made it a little grayish, a little bluish. There's no other paint detail in the hair, but it is sculpted wonderfully with tons of strands of hair kind of flowing in and out of each other. We've got great sculpted detail for the bomber jacket. The X logos on the shoulders have been applied very cleanly. There's a little bit of paint inside the shoulder to continue the look of the jacket, which I think was a nice touch. The costume detail has been applied very cleanly. Coming down the figure, we just have a solid yellow plastic with green metallic paint on the side of the figure and on the arms. I like the sculpted detail around the cuff of the glove, and that is a separate piece. The belt is a loose-fitting piece, so it can actually rest the way it does in the comic books, where it's kind of crooked. Coming down the rest of the figure, we've got more of that great metallic green paint. Otherwise, the rest of the detail's just been molded in a yellow plastic that doesn't have any extra paint detail, but I think looks good and definitely represents the costume pretty well. Now, it's worth noting I do have a couple of paint splotches on this figure. I've got a dash of green where it doesn't need to be on the back of the leg. And if we take a look at Rogue's left fist, you can see that there's a bit of paint that's been splashed on the thumb. Also, I want to comment, while the head sculpt is actually painted very well, and it does actually look like a nice human face, I do wish that there was a little more attitude on this face. Rogue during this era was kind of a tough-as-nails character. She still is, but it's not quite the same. And I would have liked to have seen some sort of smirk on her face maybe, or even maybe some sort of pleasant-looking teeth-gritted look. That way, if you choose to pose her flying, or even knocking through like a steel wall or something, she can emote the sort of fiery cockiness that she's known for having during this era in the comics. Accessory-wise, Rogue is coming with the left leg for the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure, and we'll look at that more in detail when I have that figure fully assembled. But what she also has that's a nice touch, no pun intended, is her right hand ungloved. You can actually remove the fist that's already plugged into her hand out of packaging, and the surrounding glove detail, and then just pose her with any character you want to pretend she's trying to steal the powers of. Hasbro really didn't need to include this, but I'm so glad they did. Height-wise, this Rogue figure does stand just a little bit over 6 inches tall. For some size comparison, here she is compared to the aforementioned Miss Marvel figure from that Target exclusive box set. So we all on the straight and narrow now, right, Sugar? What? You nearly killed me. Well, excuse me for asking. And just for fun, here she is compared to the Rogue that came in the X-Men Monster Armor series released by ToyBiz in 1997. And finally, here she is compared to the 6-inch scale Marvel Legends Infinite series Wolverine.
Psst, Hasbro, you did great and all, but could we still get a Rogue in a green costume sometime?
I heard that. Alright, Toy fans, that's my review of the Marvel Legends Juggernaut Build-A-Figure Wave Rogue figure released by Hasbro in 2016. Overall, who are we kidding? You're gonna buy this figure. It's been way too long since we got a Rogue, and this is a really great figure despite the flaws with the head articulation and even the minor paint splotches that my particular figure has. Find a website where you can still pre-order, get this figure locked in, and you're gonna be so glad that you did. And as always, thanks for watching my review, Toy fans. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do me a big favor and show your appreciation by giving this video a big thumbs up. It'll make sure these reviews come every bit faster. And hey, your support genuinely just makes my day. You can always keep up with me on Twitter and Instagram at D21Beast, and I'll see you guys next time. Sugar.